mean,
if Serena wasn't so pregnant when we came up at y'all's space, we would have done more of this.
Yeah, but God, it was good to be out of the heat, wasn't it?
For sure.
This way?
Yeah. Yeah, this should drop into a spot up here.
I'm feeling strong. I just want you to know.
That's good.
I'm hungry, but I'm feeling strong. Chase, I mentioned I believe in you.
I appreciate it.
Oh, that's close. I got some water fluid.
Well, that would be cheating, though.
Okay, well.
Trying to build some resilience, you know? Come on.
I'm trying to not get pneumonia. You're teaching me a lot about camping, Chase. I'm very proud of you. However, let me teach you about something called matches. Watch this. Watch. There.
Oh, that'll work.
Okay, bud. Wait, before you put that on, like, you run point on camping. You know what you're talking about. I'm learning from you. Okay?
Okay.
We're about to cook. This is my area.
Okay.
Okay, so let me help you. So slowly put a bit of oil on that pan.
How much is a bit?
Well, I'm just live and learn.
Live and learn. Burn my hand off. Woo!
Yes, that would be called a grease fire.
Perfect.
Now let's put a little on this end too. We just want the whole thing to be coated. There you go. That's good. Now take our steaks.
Here, grab that steak too.
This one?
Yeah, put that there.
Do not burn yourself. This is not pain I want you to learn from. Dude, that steak looks awesome.
I know. I can't wait. Okay, so at the car, you said there was one thing that you feel like Paul learned that we need to.
Yeah, it's probably it starts with the passage I had the hardest time with most of my life until I found the second place. So the one you know is where Romans 8:28. We know in all things God works for the good of those who love Him. Mm-hmm. And I'm just telling you, man, you go to enough babies' funerals, children's hospital, and you go, God, where are you in all that?
Yeah. Which I think is a question that I know especially my generation ask a lot because we grew up seeing so many things.
Right.
And so.
But then, like I told you, there's this passage nobody wants to talk about, 2 Corinthians 12. Paul is saying, hey, God gave me this gift, you know. Mm-hmm. I think he's talking about when he saw Jesus on the road, you know, when he was converted from Saul to Paul. Mm. And he said he didn't want me to get prideful, so he said I had this thorn in the flesh. Mm-hmm. And he said, it's crazy, he said, he specifically said he had something that was tormenting him. Mm. So it's like a messenger of Satan. And he said he did what we do.
Yeah.
God, take it away, because we said we run from pain.
Yep.
And we want answers.
Yep. That's the resistance we're talking about. Yeah.
Right. And God said no.
Yep.
Right. So nobody gets a coffee cup that says 3 times I asked and God said no. They get, I can do all things through Christ.
Yep.
But he said that's when he figured out that God's grace was sufficient and his power was in his weakness. Mm. In other words, he felt God's power more when he was walking uphill than he did when he was coasting downhill. Mm-hmm. So that's how he saw life. So think about your life and think about when you wake up sometimes and you're surprised that it's hard.
Yeah, I think.
Put the steak on there while you tell me.
Yeah, we'll get a little sizzle here.
My stomach's growling.
Woo.
Oh, that looks good.
Oh yeah.
Let's do that one for a minute. So back to it. Tell me, tell me parenting, marriage, health. I don't know what is it. Tell me a time when.
I think parenting for sure. It's like a 3-year-old that is a 3-year-old. It's not that hard. It's annoying, but then there's those times where you want to do good by them and you want to be a good dad and you want to make the right decisions. You want to raise them up right, but I think there's times where it's always easier to just come home and sit on the couch and pick the easy way out,
By the way, where do you get all this gear from? You're like
REI. Camping store, you just find some.
Right. So turn it over. Okay, I get that, but what I'm saying is, let me ask you it this way. Do you think, sometimes you think, well, it's going to get easier?
Yes and no. Because this is what I always heard was, oh, you're not going to sleep when they're a baby. And then they get a toddler. Oh, you're still not going to sleep because they're going to be up crying. Oh, but then they're going to be a teenager. You're still not going to sleep because you're going to be wondering where they are.
Yeah.
And so there's almost this kind of discouraging deal of like, well, when do I get to sleep?
Right.
When's it going to be easy again? And I think that's when it's difficult because there's always another problem presenting itself.
Which that's my point. That's what Paul said. He doesn't wake up expecting it to be easy. He knows there's going to be a challenge, and he's okay with it because he sees God in it.
Yeah.
So you think about in our culture how many times at a subconscious level we are convinced that a challenge, a problem, an injustice means God isn't there. Mm-hmm. Well, Paul decided a long time ago that we live in a fallen world, that was going to be there, and he was going to look for God to be at work in that, and that's why he was so resilient. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's like kind of coming to terms with the fact that bad things are going to happen to bad people and good people, which I think is a step of faith already of believing that there are going to be times that are easier in my life, and there's going to be times that are difficult, and that's not based on what I'm doing. It's just kind of life. But then in the middle of getting past that step of knowing, like you're saying, God really is at work, it's a step of faith. It's a big jump, I think, for some people.
Yeah, because some people see faith as like they need all the answers, right? If I just knew why. And my deal is, this is where I resonate with Paul. It's, no, I've chosen to believe that God's going to bring good out of crappy stuff.
Yeah.
It's not always easy to think about that.
Yeah. So in other words, resiliency is not ignorance.
No.
It's faith. It's this belief that even in the midst of difficult times and in the midst of being built, something good being built, that God's still there, that though he didn't maybe cause a bad thing or a difficult situation to happen, sometimes we bring it on ourselves. We don't want to admit that a lot of times.
Right.
But even in the midst, no matter what the problem might be, he's still working. And in that, something's being built, that resilience is being built, where sure, life may get not easier, but simpler. Yeah. But at the same time, we may see God in a new light, too.
100%. That helps me, the way you say that. I just think it's interesting. I get it, but I think it's interesting that people say because of challenging situations, they lost their faith.
Yeah.
They deconstructed. My deal is like what Paul is saying, you can't have resiliency without faith. Like faith is what brings resiliency because it's that belief.